This is Top Accolade Global News Updates by Soibifa Jackridge. Ben Potter, an online content creator known as Comicstorian, has died aged 40 after an unfortunate accident. Potter was known to many through his YouTube channel, on which he shared opinions, reviews, and close analysis of various comic book and superhero products, including Marvel and DC films. The title of his most recent videos include Wolverine vs. Ghost Rider, Suicide Squad Dream Team, and Daredevil Destroys The Avengers. Having launched his channel in 2014 as an offshoot of his gaming channel, Potter had a following of more than 3 million subscribers and posted his most recent video, Why DC's Reboots Beats Marvel, just one day before he died. Potter's wife, Natalie, announced his unexpected passing 10th of June with a post on the Comicstorian X account. Natalie's statement goes on to note that while she needs time to grieve with family, one of her priorities is preserving everything he built. His channel was one of his greatest accomplishments, and while we all need our time to mourn him, I know we wouldn't want it to end like this. She continues, Ben spent over 10 years spreading his love and appreciation for his hobbies. It was through his love of exciting stories and well-written characters that got him started on YouTube. The team and I want to keep that going, to honor him by continuing to tell great stories by great people, as well as to keep the memory of our very own superhero alive. No further information of the nature of Ben Potter's death has been shared. In response, several fans have shared their messages of condolence on Comicstorian videos, with some joining back to his first upload in April 2014 to share their appreciation for his work. The strain of H5N1 bird flu isolated from a dairy worker in Texas was 100% fatal in ferrets used to model influenza illnesses in humans. However, all virus appeared inefficient at spreading viral respiratory droplets. According to newly released study results from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the data confirms that H5N1 infections are significantly different from seasonal influenza viruses that circulate in humans. Those annual viruses make ferrets sick but are not deadly. They have also shown to be highly efficient at spreading viral respiratory droplets, with 100% transmission rate laboratory setting in contrast. The strain from the Texas man appeared to have only a 33% transmission rate viral respiratory droplets among ferrets. In the CDC's study, researchers infected 6 ferrets with Texas 3724, with CDC's data summary did not specify how the ferrets were infected in this study, but in other recent ferret H5N1 studies, the animals were infected by putting the virus in their noses. ARS has reached out to the agency for clarity on the inoculation routes in the latest study and will update the story with any additional information provided. All 6 of infected ferrets developed severe diseases and died. To test how well the virus could spread among the ferrets, the CDC scientists set up experiments to test transmission through direct contact and respiratory droplets. For the direct transmission test, 3 healthy ferrets were placed in the same enclosures with 3 experimentally infected ferrets. All 3 healthy ferrets became infected. For the respiratory transmission test, 3 healthy ferrets were placed in enclosures next to enclosures containing the experimentally infected animals. The infected and uninfected ferrets shared air but did not have direct contact with each other. Of the 3 healthy ferrets, only one contracted the H5N1 virus, 33%. Additionally, that one respiratory transmission event seemed to have 1 to 2 day delay compared with what's seen in the same test with seasonal influenza viruses. This suggests further that the virus is inefficient at respiratory transmission. Elon Musk has said he could ban Apple devices from his company's over-the-tech giant deal to integrate ChatGPT into the iPhone, iPad, and Mac. The Tesla boss said the decision was an unacceptable security violation and accused Apple of handling over user data to OpenAI, the firm behind the chatbots. As part of its generative AI announcements, Apple said that alongside its new Apple Intelligence system that will allow users to access generative AI-powered tools almost anywhere anywhere within the devices. It would give users the option to send a query to ChatGPT to take advantage of its own spectrum of knowledge. Writing on X, Mr. Mark said, "If Apple integrates OpenAI at the OS level, the Apple devices will be banned at my companies. That is an unacceptable security violation, and visitors will have to check their Apple devices at the door." Apple has been approached for comment in response to Mr. Mark's claims, but in its state announcement of the partnership, it said users needed to give their permission before any request was shared with OpenAI, and that requests were not stored during the process. Mr. Mark has a fractious relationship with OpenAI, was the founder of the company, but has since turned against it and accused it of failing to follow its founding principles, claiming it has abandoned its original mission to instead focus on profits, something OpenAI has denied. UK unemployment has unexpectedly surged to a 2-year high as the job market continues to weaken, although wage growth remains strong. According to new figures, the Office for National Statistics (ONS) reports an increase in unemployment rates to 4.4% across 3 months leading to April, up from 4.3% in the previous quarter. This unexpected rise defies predictions of no change and sees the highest level of unemployment since the third quarter of 2021. Job vacancies also saw a substantial drop, decreasing by 12,000 to 904,000 over the 3 months leading to May, marking a consistent decline spanning 23 periods. Despite these figures, regular salary growth held steady at 6% in the quarter leading to April and continued to outpace inflation with a real-time increase of 2.9%, which is the most significant since August 2021. In response to these figures, the ONS said this month's figures continue to show signs that the labor market may be cooling, with the number of vacancies still failing and unemployment rising. Though earnings growth remained relatively strong, economists had largely projected regular wage growth given the nearly 10% boost in the national living wage on 1st April, a windfall for almost 3 million individuals who saw their hourly rate increase from €10.42 to €11.44. The Bank of England is keeping a close eye on the job market, particularly wage trends, as it aims to steer inflation back to its 2% target. Slowing wage growth is considered crucial for setting the stage to reduce interest rates. Inflation dipped to 2.3% in April, hitting its lowest point since 2021, although the decrease wasn't as sharp as many analysts had anticipated. The UN Security Council overwhelmingly approved its first resolution endorsing a ceasefire plan aimed at ending the 8-month war between Israel and Hamas in Gaza. The US-sponsored resolution welcomes a ceasefire proposal announced by President Joe Biden that the United States says Israel has accepted. It calls on the militant Palestinian groups Hamas to accept the 3-phase plan. The resolution, which was approved with 14 of the 15 Security Council members voting in favor and Russia abstaining, calls on Israel and Hamas to fully implement its terms without delay and without condition. Whether Israel and Hamas agree to go forward with the plan remains in question, but the resolution's strong support in the UN's most powerful body puts added pressure on both parties to approve the proposal. US Secretary of State Antony Blinken was in Israel, where he urged Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to accept the plan for post-war Gaza as he pushed for more international pressure on Hamas to agree to the ceasefire proposal. Netanyahu has been skeptical of the deal, saying that Israel is still committed to destroying Hamas. Hamas said it welcomed the adoption of the resolution and was ready to work with mediators in indirect negotiations with Israel to implement it. The statement was among the strongest from Hamas to date, but it stressed the group would continue its struggle against Israeli occupation and work on settling up a full sovereign Palestinian state. A senior Israeli diplomat did not directly mention the resolution, telling the council Israel's position is unwavering. They will continue until all the hostages are returned and until Hamas military and governing capabilities are dismantled. US Ambassador Linda Thomas-Greenfield reiterated, however, that Israel has accepted the ceasefire deal, which is supported by countries around the world. That is the size of Top Accolade Global News Updates. You can follow us on our social media platforms as displayed on your screen.